Hello, this is Richard Moraes. I am the author of The Man with No Borders, and I'm also an alumnus of the Zurich International School. On May 16th at 8 p.m. Continental European time, this will be hosting a question and answer with me and about The Man with No Borders. We'd love you to join. We'd love you to grab a glass of wine and join us for this evening. And just to give you a little taste, I'm going to read the prologue of this book. It's only 3 pages. And I'd like to remind you, if you do generously make a donation to the evening, that money will go to families who've been affected by COVID as financial support. So anyway, here we go, and let's go. This is the prologue to The Man with No Borders. My mind drifts back to those days when I was young and full of vigor and just starting my career as a private banker. It is the nature of old age, I'm discovering, to remember the entire panorama of the past, everything from those difficult moments we spend a lifetime trying to suppress to those inconsequential moments that seemed so trivial at the time, but now, with hindsight, take on added meaning and weight. In particular, I remember a day from that summer of the late 1960s, shortly after Lisa and I moved to Zurich, so I could learn my trade at the Swiss Federal Credit Bank, the Universal Bank with headquarters on the Bahnhofstrasse. An elderly Swedish couple came to the bank in the late afternoon to make changes to their will and estate. They were valued and respected clients of the bank, so my supervisor, Herr Albitz, ushered this remarkably spry and distinguished-looking couple into the grand conference room overlooking Paradeplatz and ordered them coffee and sugar biscuits. I was his assistant at the time and came shuffling into the conference room with the accordion of documents we had prepared for their arrival. The couple sat opposite, white-haired and leather-skinned, looking like tanned beef hides after a decade living under the Riviera sun. They lived in a harborside penthouse in Monaco for most of the year to avoid confiscatory Scandinavian taxes, and had come to Zurich for one purpose that day: to cut their children out of their will. I pushed forward the last document, the amended trust. "Please sign here and here." The elderly couple signed. "It is over," the man said. The finality of the signing touched something inside of them, and their emotions spilled out from their normally carefully enforced Swedish borders, as if we could somehow absolve them of their decision. Their daughter was a heroin addict, they told us, and had gone missing with her baby somewhere in India. Their son lived in Tangier. He was fond of entertaining rough sailors and was constantly getting robbed and asking his parents for more money. They could barely spit out the words. They were so full of disgust. They seemed to both loathe their children, who, they said, did nothing but break their hearts and disappoint them, while at the same time they were racked with guilt for washing their hands of their own flesh and blood. "Yes, it's over and good riddance," the wife said. "Now I can finally sleep. If Josephina overdoses now, at least it won't be our money in her veins." When the couple stood again, they were old and stooped, as if their best Riviera life had been stripped away by this act of family betrayal. I was shocked by their transformation and unsettled by the entire meeting. I suspect I conveyed a certain amount of cold contempt. Herr Albitz, without saying anything specific, managed in contrast to convey great empathy, and he thanked the Swedes for their visit and wished them a safe journey back to Monaco as we escorted them back to the elevators. Herr Albitz and I turned heel when the elevator doors shut and began to walk down the bank's long corridors to our offices. "Your performance with the client today was not what I was hoping for." My superior was blue-eyed and silver-haired and said little, but when he spoke, his comments carried weight. I glanced nervously in his direction. "In what way?" You must think more like a priest in a confessional and less like a banker on the Bahnhofstrasse. I've never thought about our work that way. You will hear lots of stories from the clients. Some of them will be unpleasant, some even distasteful. Reserve judgment. Families and their issues are complicated. Remember, you are not really in the business of managing money. You're in the business of keeping family secrets. I absorbed his comments as we turned down the hall, the echo of our footsteps reverberating through the corridor. When I finally spoke, I did so with far more vehemence than I intended. I can keep family secrets. So, if you want to find out what those family secrets are and how they reverberate, please join us 8 p.m. May 16th online. Sign up on Facebook via the Zurich International School. Thank you.